The little girl cried, "Please, not today." The truth about what the teacher had done was finally coming out. Mia Lopez clutched her stuffed bunny, the faded ears folding beneath her small fingers. The air that morning was crisp, and outside Bright Beginnings preschool, the playground echoed with children's laughter and excited shouts. But Mia wasn't feeling like laughing. Her stomach knotted itself into firm ropes as she endured the drop-off line, her pink tennis shoes scraping softly against the asphalt. She did not wish to go in. At the classroom door waited Miss Holloway, her brightly red lips stretched into a wide smile. "Good morning, children," she called out, her voice too cheerful, like syrup that had been left too long in the sun. Mia's breath caught. She hugged her bunny tighter to her chest, hoping it could protect her. Then Miss Holloway's eyes landed on her. "Mia!" she barked. "Stop lagging behind!" Mia's throat closed up. She wanted to sprint back to her daddy's car, but her legs wouldn't budge. A small whimper escaped instead. "Please, not today." Miss Holloway's smile wavered. She leaned down, and the bitter scent of her perfume hit Mia's nostrils, thick and suffocating. "What was that, Mia?" Mia's eyes stung. She shook her head, curls bouncing. Nearby, Mr. Rivera, a teacher but a different one, glanced over. He had warm brown eyes and a gentle voice that always sounded like it was smiling. He knelt beside her. "Hey, Mia Mouse," he said softly, using the silly nickname he'd made for her. "You okay?" Mia swallowed. She wanted to tell him Miss Holloway pinched her yesterday for not tying her shoes fast enough, that she'd muttered stupid when no one could hear. But the words clogged in her throat. Mr. Rivera gently patted her on the back. "Come on, let's get you some crayons. Maybe draw me another one of those cool bunnies." Mia gave a small nod, but her hands trembled as she took the crayons. At her table, the other kids ignored her. A boy named Jake even scooted his chair away. "Miss Holloway says you're a crybaby," he muttered. Mia's cheeks flushed. She lowered her head and pressed her lips together. "Don't cry, don't cry." Miss Holloway walked by, bumping Mia's collar, too hard. Mia flinched. The teacher's fingernails scratched her skin just for a moment. "Sit up straight," she whispered. Mia's eyes teared up, but she didn't say anything. At pickup, Mia's dad Carlos looked worn out. His shirt was wrinkled, his eyes dulled from another warehouse-long shift. But he smiled when he saw her, drawing her into a hug. "How was school, Mia?" She nuzzled her face into his shoulder. "Good," she mumbled. She didn't mention the red mark on her neck, hidden under her collar. She didn't say anything about how scared she was to return tomorrow. And Carlos, too tired to notice, hoisted her into the car, blind to the storm cooking in the silence of his little girl. Inside, nap time had begun. The mats were unrolled, and gentle lullabies played through the speakers. Most of the children slept, their breathing slow and quiet, but Mia tensed under her thin blanket, gripping the edges as if they were her only lifeline. She needed to go to the bathroom, but Miss Holloway had scolded her earlier. "You should have gone before nap," she had snapped, her voice as icy as frost. Mia shut her eyes tight, trying to ignore the pressure. If she could just stay still. Then it happened. A warm wetness spread beneath her, soaking her pants and the mat beneath. Mia froze, her cheeks burning with shame. Miss Holloway's shadow loomed before her. Before Mia could look up, the teacher's lip curled in disgust. "Again?" she hissed, her voice low so the others wouldn't wake. "You're disgusting." Mia's legs shook as Miss Holloway jerked her to her feet. Her grip was abrasive, fingernails scraping Mia's arm. "Wash up," the teacher snapped, shoving her toward the bathroom sink. "And don't you dare cry." Mia bit her lip hard. She did not want to cry. Not again. not to make Miss Holloway any angrier. But Lena Patel wasn't sleeping. The quiet girl with large blue eyes had been lying in wait on her mat. As Miss Holloway dragged Mia away, Lena sat up slowly, her eyes peering through the gap of the bathroom door. She caught her, Miss Holloway pinching Mia's arm really hard, just as she walked away. Lena's stomach curled. Mia was her best friend, the one who shared crayons when the other kids wouldn't. She bided her time until nap time was finished and Miss Holloway was distracted at her desk. Sneakily, Lena inched over to where Mia sat alone, her eyes all puffy and red. "Does she hurt you a lot?" Lena whispered. Mia didn't respond. She just wrapped her knees tighter to her. That afternoon, Nurse Patel had a feeling something was wrong. Her daughter walked beside her in silence, quieter than usual. "Something wrong, sweetie?" she asked gently. Lena hesitated. Then, barely above a whisper, said, "Miss Holloway is mean to Mia." Nurse Patel's eyebrows knitted. "Mean how?" "She pinched her. Said bad words." A shiver landed in Nurse Patel's chest. At once, she pulled out her phone and texted Carlos. "We need to talk." Carlos sighed when the message appeared. His back ached from lifting boxes all day. His boss had yelled at him that morning for being 5 minutes late. Now he had to pick up Mia, cook dinner, and somehow figure out next month's rent. He texted back, "Is everything okay?" Nurse Patel's reply came fast. "Lena says Mia's teacher is being too harsh. I'm concerned." Carlos rubbed his temples. Kids said things all the time, and Mia had always been a sensitive soul. "Maybe she was just struggling to adjust," he replied. "Kids exaggerate sometimes. I'll talk to her." That night, as he tucked Mia into bed, he asked gently, "How was school today?" Mia curled into a ball, her voice barely a whisper. "I don't want to go tomorrow." Carlos kissed her forehead, brushing it off as just a rough week. He had no idea how wrong he was. The following day, Mr. Rivera sat before the school computer, his stomach twisted. The screen softly glowed in the dark office, showing silent video from last Thursday's art class. He wasn't allowed to watch it. Teachers needed a permission slip for that. But watching Mia flinch whenever Miss Holloway walked by her, he couldn't ignore the suspicion in his belly. Mia dripped glue slowly onto her project on screen. Then, Miss Holloway. She grabbed Mia's wrist so quickly the girl leapt with shock. The glue bottle wobbled, spilling thick white rivers over the tabletop. Before Mia could even react, Miss Holloway's fingers gripped her hair and yanked. Mia's head was jerked back, her mouth opening in a silent scream. Her lips formed words. Mr. Rivera didn't have to hear them to know they were laced with venom. His fists clenched. A few minutes later, he found Miss Holloway sipping coffee in the teacher's lounge, just as if nothing had happened. "We need to discuss something," he said quietly, his voice tense. "About Mia Lopez." Miss Holloway didn't blink. "What about her?" "I saw what you did. The hair pulling. That's abuse." Her eyes flashed temporarily, something cold and hard behind her mask. Then she laughed, stirring coffee very slowly. "Good grief. That child is a catastrophe. If I didn't keep watch on her, she'd superglue herself to the ceiling." She moved in, close enough for him to get a whiff of her overwhelming perfume. "You're new here, Miguel. Don't ruin your career over one awkward little girl." That evening, Mia sat in the bathtub, knees curled up to her chest. Carlos knelt beside her, singing a gentle, old lullaby his mother used to sing when he washed her back. Then he noticed it. A yellow-green, pale bruise just beneath her rib cage, and another near her throat. "Mia, how'd you get this?" he asked, trying to keep his voice steady. Mia's breath caught. Then, like a floodgate cracking open, the words spilled out through her tears. "Teacher says I'm bad." She hurts me. Here. Her tiny finger pointed to the mark. When nobody sees. Carlos's hands trembled. Suddenly, every overlooked clue slammed into him. The upset stomachs. The nightmares. The way she begged not to go to school. His baby had been living in fear for weeks, and he hadn't seen it. The next day, school doors opened and Carlos stormed in, Mia clinging for life to his side. Behind the front desk stood Principal Mrs. Green, looking up with her standard trained smile. "Mr. Lopez, Who do I call to report a child abuser?" Carlos's voice broke. "Because your veteran teacher is hurting my daughter." Mrs. Green's smile faltered. She shifted her glasses, delaying. "Now let's not go that kind of... Miss Holloway has over 20 years of..." "Look at her," Carlos growled. He pushed Mia's top up just far enough to show the bruise. The little girl whined and hid her face in her father's neck. For a moment, the principal just stood there, shocked. Then Principal Green's face flattened into something flat. "Kids are sensitive, Mr. Lopez, and Mia's experiencing some transition issues." Carlos's face reddened. They were not telling the truth for her. Unknown to them, Mr. Rivera lingered just down the hall, phone clutched in his hand, recording each remark silently. Later, the diner smelled like burnt coffee and greasy bacon. Syrup-sticky Booth clung to Carlos's sleeves as he sat there, hands wrapped around an untouched mug. His eyes were bloodshot. He had not slept. To his left, Nurse Patel stirs her tea slowly. Tension creased across her face. Mr. Rivera slid into the booth next to her, a manila folder concealed under his arm. "I copied them," he whispered, placing them on the table. Inside were blurred printouts, security stills of Miss Holloway yanking Mia's hair, pinching her arm hard enough to leave a bruise. The original footage? Deleted from the school's system, he supplemented. Someone deleted it. Nurse Patel pulled out her phone. "Lena told me more last night," she said, unlocking her screen. "Miss Holloway calls nasty names at Mia when the other teachers are away." She opened a voice memo, pressed play. Lena's tiny, solemn voice filled the silence, poked Mia's ear yesterday. Mia burst into tears but did not speak. Carlos's throat burned. He took out his phone too, opened his camera. "These were after I took her to the doctor." On his phone, snapshots of Mia's bruises, a bright red welts on her wrist. "These are not clumsy," he struggled to get the words out. "They're bruises." Mr. Rivera drew in a quick breath. "We have enough to bring this to the school board." "No." The voice belonged to Attorney Flores, Nurse Patel's friend. She slid into the booth, her briefcase thudding onto the seat. "I've seen too many cases like this," she said, "without solid, irrefutable proof. It's her word against yours, and Holloway's been there 20 years. The school will protect her." Carlos's fist slammed the table, rattling the silverware. "So what, do nothing?" "No," she said calmly. "We fight smarter." At 3:15 p.m., a crayon snapped in Mia's fingers. She'd pushed too hard. Across the table, Dr. Bennett, her therapist, sat quietly, watched. Mia drew frantically, seething black lines slashing across the page. "Can you tell me what your picture is about?" Dr. Bennett asked softly. Mia didn't look up. "That's her," she whispered. The figure had claw-like fingers. Its mouth was rimmed with jagged teeth, needle hair X's where eyes belonged. At the bottom, in leaning, shaking letters, B-A-D-T-C-R. Dr. Bennett's stomach dropped. She'd looked at hundreds of drawings, but this wasn't fear. This was trauma. "Mia," she said gently, "does your teacher hurt you?" Mia's chin started to shake. Then she nodded. The therapist slid a form across the desk. At the top, professional assessment. She checked one box in bold black letters, signs of physical and psychological abuse, consistent with victims' statements. By 6:30 p.m., Carlos stood at the police station desk, setting down the file. Doctor's reports, therapist's notes, photographs. The officer gave a tired sigh. "We'll look into it," he said. His tone said otherwise. The next morning, Miss Holloway smiled sweetly as Principal Green addressed the assembled staff. "Unfortunately," the principal said, "false accusations have been brought against one of our most seasoned educators." Her gaze lingered on Mr. Rivera. "We have every confidence that everyone here will act professionally as this case is considered." Miss Holloway hunched down beside Mia as she passed by her. "Your daddy is sad," she whispered. "Bad girls make people sad." Mia stiffened. The TV at Carlos's apartment was turned up loud with the morning news. He hardly heard it until Mia nodded towards it. "Daddy, look." On the screen, a news reporter was standing outside Bright Beginnings preschool, microphone in hand. Alarming allegations of child abuse have surfaced at this neighborhood school, provoking a strong community response. Carlos's hand hung in mid-sip. The camera cut to a motherly father holding on to his son's hand. "My Jake was coming home crying every day," she said. Nightmares, night after night. And another parent stood up. And another. Carlos's phone buzzed with messages, from strangers even. "We believe you." Our kids saw things too. Under pressure from the media and a wave of parent protest, the police reopened the case. Deleted files unearthed by the computer whiz within the school. As plain as the light, Miss Holloway spinning Mia's arm around to the small of her back, dragging the crying girl into the bathroom, smiling as she wiped off Mia's name on the whiteboard. The lead detective's jaw set in anger. This confirms it. Miss Holloway was in the middle of a sentence within the teacher's lounge. "The police don't even have—" The door slammed open. 2 officers entered, hands on belts. "Amanda Holloway, you are under arrest for child endangerment and assault." The classroom gasped. The cuffs snapped. Her neatly styled hair cascaded forward over her eyes. "You'll never take the word of a bunch of brats over me," she snarled. And then she spotted them, all the parents, standing in the doorway. A week later, sunlight poured through the new trim in classroom 3B. Miss Joy, the beaming substitute teacher, knelt beside Mia. "Want to choose today's story, honey?" Mia hesitated, then grabbed The Brave Little Rabbit. She read aloud, half the words made up. The other children giggled, leaning in. No one called names. No one pinched her when she made mistakes. When she was done, Miss Joy squeezed her tight. "Best story time ever." Mia hugged her bunny close, breathing in the fluffy smell of new books and chalk powder. She whispered, "Today is a good day." If this video made you feel something at the center of your heart, please thumbs up, subscribe, and tell us in the comments where in the world you are viewing from. We love to hear your stories. Thanks for watching.